All right, in today's video, we're going to be learning how to create the standard deviation exactly like they have it on TradingView. So if you see here, is at 12587. So if we go up here and we zoom in on this, you'll see we have, what does it say right here? 12587. The next one, 1523, 11523. This one says 11523. This says 106.56. Let's go over here to this last one, 106.56. You guys get it. It's going to be exactly like TradingView. And then if we look at the way this is plotting, you can see that. And after that, we get these numbers. We're going to come down here, and I'm going to show you guys exactly how to plot it. It's exactly like TradingView does. Basically the same. Then after we get done with that, I'm going to go over here and show you guys this backtester that I've built where you can set up your risk reward and stop loss information, trailing stop loss, all sorts of stuff. Create this simple strategy right here, run the backtest. Then after you do that, then we can come down here and see exactly all of the trades that we're taking, your cumulative P&L, all of the actual trades here in a data frame. Then if you want to see it play out in real time, you can just look at this. You can run this. It'll tell you exactly what's happening at exactly every single candle. Then last but not least, you see here, we've got Apex, we've got Mufex, we've got Bybit, we've got Binance. You're going to be able to go through and run, basically place trades on any of these exchanges. So this is when you are done with your strategy. I'm running this right now. You'll be able to see here on Mufex, Apex, Binance, Bybit. We're going to place trades on all these on the test nets of them once we get done with the backtest of the thing here. So you'll be able to see, eventually we'll be able to see on Apex, we place a trade, Mufex, Bybit, here we have a trade. Mufex, is it going to load? Let's see here. Apex, is it going to load? Binance, you can see here we have a trade. And Mufex, you can see we have a trade right now. Apex, it is acting up right now. Okay, the Apex testnet likes to be stupid from time to time. So here we go. We're going to place a trade, and you'll see it pop up right there. So if you're interested in all that, go down below, go to all my links, join the Discord, join the Telegram, follow me on Twitter, and let me know that you're interested in using my backtester. It's completely free, and I also provide lessons, or I can help you build your strategy and backtest it yourself, all right? So without further ado, oh yeah, and I also have a bunch of TradingView indicators here. But anyways, we're going to go over here, and I'm going to show you guys exactly, I'm going to explain all that stuff after I get done showing you guys the standard deviation. Okay, so now that we're getting started, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to be a little bit familiar with Numpy or familiar with Numpy, and then you're going to have Plotly installed, and we're going to do plotly.graphObjects as go. And then here you're going to have to be able to download some candles. Now, I've already talked about how to download candles in my previous videos, so this is where you can figure out how to do it yourself or watch those videos, or again, you guys can just use my backtester that I've built where you can just import the download exchange candles. And so you're going to run this. Then after that, we are going to download our candles right here. I'm just using this information like this. So I'm just going to download the last 200 candles and from Binance US. And they're going to be on the 1 hour. It's going to be BTC USDT. I'm just going to download the last 200 candles. And so here, the way I send my candles, column number 4 is the closes. And so that's what we're running right here. So now we have our candles downloaded. So if we look at our closes, it's just going to be an array, NumPy array of closes of the last 200 candles. Okay, so now we're going to have to look at the standard deviation right here on TradingView. This is TradingView's PineScript website here. And so let's just go through this. What is happening here? Well, the main thing is Pine right here. So we're getting the source, which is going to be our closes, and our length is going to be, I don't know, 20 or 15 or 10 or 10. Let's just say 10. So here, the first thing that we're going to do is we get the SMA. So this is basically the average. So we're getting the SMA of our source, and it's the length. So just getting the SMA here. Then we have to go through this for loop, and we have to do this sum source I is there we go. Let's go back to where we were at standard dev. Just trying to make the thing a little bit bigger. All right. So this sum right here is basically saying if the source, the source, whatever I we are on, if the source and the fast, which is the negative average. So we add those two together, and then we say if is 0, which is basically this, saying if the absolute value is less than or equal to this right here, 1 minus 10, 1e minus 10, then put rest now equals 0. If this is not true, then we have to come down here and say if basically it's saying like if rest is greater than, because this is less than or equal to, right? So this is saying not. So this is just basically saying if rest is greater than 1e minus 4, then it's going to be rest, else it's going to be 15. But apparently this is actually an typing error, and it's supposed to be 1e minus 5, which makes a lot more sense than 15. That's super random. So you can see here we've taken care of that. So I'm going to go and show you guys exactly how I was able to take care of all of that using Numpy. And so here we're going to do def standard dev func, and it's going to take a source np.array, and it's going to take a length. So I have NumPy imported as MP, import NumPy as NP, okay? So here we're going to do this. We're going to say average equals negative estimate TradingView. So this is, I have the SMA, so you guys can go ahead and watch that if you guys need to. But again, I've already made this, and so this is basically just the TradingView SMA. So if you guys really, really want to, you can pause this and take a look at it, or you guys can go and watch the video on how to make the SMA yourself. But again, this is about the standard deviation. Again, if you have any questions at all, if something didn't work, if you have any questions, you can't stop anything, you go down below, go to all my links. Again, follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, or join the Telegram, and you guys can message me there about any questions that you have. And the Twitter is just for internet clout, so that way, if I message some other YouTuber or something like that, and they want to do collabs, they'll see, oh, you have followers. Wow, you must be important. So, anyways, we have to get the SMA, and we're going to get the negative, and I'm going to show you guys exactly why in a second. Well, I've already shown you guys. It's because, okay, let's do this. So why are we doing that? Well, if we go back over to the Pine script, this is negative. So it's always going to be negative, so there's no point in always changing it to negative every single time we do the for loop. So we're just going to set it as negative, okay? So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to do some square dev, squared standard deviation, I guess that's what this is, np.full like, and we're going to do average np.net, right? Or you could do source, whatever, but this is basically going to make a fill a NumPy array with NaN values the same size as our average here, okay, which is basically going to be the same size as source. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to need the length minus 1 equals length, exactly what we have here, length minus 1. Okay. So now comes the extremely, extremely fun part. So now we have to do all of this stuff right here, which is basically this and this all combined. Okay. So we're going to try and try my best to explain all of this stuff as clear as I possibly can. So let's just come out here and do this, right? So we're going to say our source is closed, and our length is going to be 15, and SMA is going to be pip install our this. Okay, so now we have all of our fun stuff here. So we'll do this. I just reloaded the window so that way it'll actually like be yellow. Okay, and so our length is 15, and just do this. Length is going to be 15. All right, and our closes is what this is. Okay, so if we run this, we'll see our average. What is this? Average is all the negatives. So it's basically a negative version of the SMA, right? 15. Then what is this? This is just NaN values, like I said. Length minus 1 is length minus 1. All right. So the first part that we have to do is basically this. Source I minus whatever plus average. So this is basically this as a so this is a for loop, right? So what we've done here is this absolute is basically the for loop. Okay, so you have the source I minus 1. So this would be 0. Let's say that we're starting at like, oh, well, we have to go backwards here, but let's just say, for instance, this is 0 through, or let's just say this is 200 or 201 or yeah 200. And then we have to subtract 10 from that or 15 from that, so that would be 85. So we're going to go basically from 85 to 200, okay? And then we're going to start at average spot 200, okay? And that's basically this. We have to go backwards because that's the way TradingView goes backwards. They basically start at the very last candle and go backwards. Usually everything goes forward, so that's why we're going backwards here. But anyways, you can see that it would be like, imagine if we were at the last candle, and we just got our last candle, and because TradingView actually says if you send source 1, we're going back 1, okay? Whereas in Python and everywhere else, if you put 1, you go forward. So this goes backwards 1. So that's why here we have to go backwards. All right. And so let's go back over to here. Hopefully that makes sense. Again, this is where if you have questions, you come into the Discord and ask. So here we have to take the absolute value, right? And we're sending the absolute value of basically this, right? The sum is here, which is this, which is first. And then we have to send if is 0, which is res plus this, which again is basically this, right? So res plus this. Then we take the absolute value of res right here. And so that's why we have this wrapped in absolute value. Okay. So what is that? What is the first going to actually? What is the first thing actually going to produce here? Okay. So let's take our closes and let's do. I think it's 200. Let's see what is the size of this. Well, we'll just do this. We'll do length minus average dot size. Length minus average dot size all the way to average dot size. Okay, so that's going to give us. Wait a minute, what is going on here? Sorry, I did it backwards. So we got to do average dot size minus length all the way to average dot size. So that's basically the same thing as this right here. And then what we're doing is we are going to add average I think we have to do, that's not going to work because we have to do -1 to get the last one. Or we can just do -1, which will give us the last one, right? It's the same thing? Yeah, it's the same thing. Okay, so we're getting the last value of that. So this is basically the very first time that we go to the for loop, this is what we're going to get. And so now what we have to do is wrap this in an np.absolute. And you'll see here, we're getting the absolute value of every single one of these things, right? Okay, so now that we have basically the absolute values, we need to see if they're less than this, right? And so what we need to do now is we need to do np.where. Oh, fuck, I need to save this as reds. So we're going to copy this. well, we're gonna create a for loop down here first. For I in range average dot size minus 1 to length minus 1. And we're going to go in the negative direction. So we're going to go down. Remember, we're starting at the top and going down. So then the first thing we need to do is res equals np.absolute. Basically what we just typed, okay? So this, then we need to do res2 equals np.where. Then we're going to say res is less than or equal to 1e minus 10 is going to be 0, else res. So that is the same thing as this right here, right? So we're saying if this is true, then we're going to have 0, else keep it as res, right? Then there's another part, because if that is not true, we do this, res3, and I just realized there's an easier way to do this, but it'd have to be nested. Whew. Okay, np.where. Now we have to do this. Res2 is less than 1e minus 4, and we say res2 is greater than 1e minus 10. Okay? Then we have to say that's going to be 1e minus 5 for res2. Right? And so what is this? Well, this is this part right here. So we're basically saying, like I told you last time, if not this, which is basically going to be if it is greater than this. Wait, let me check something. Okay, yeah. So the way I have it here, the way I have this set up here is I'm saying if the res2 is less than or equal to 1e minus 4 and res2 is greater than 1e minus 10, then we're going to put this, else it's going to be res2. So the way that works is here it's basically saying if it actually is less than or equal to 1e minus 4 and it is also greater than or equal to, greater than 1e minus, so it's basically if this is false and this is true, right? If this is true and this is false, then we're basically here, okay? So if the first part, if this is true and this is true, then we will come here. So the way that works, if not this and not this, then it has to be this. That's what we're saying here. Okay? Else, we're going to put res2. Okay, so the nested way to do this would be something like this, which I have not tried, but I'm pretty sure this works. So I think we are going to do this. And let's see if it actually works. Let me actually run this and see if it works. Okay, and the answer is yes, that it does work. We're getting the same exact number, same exact everything. Okay, because I changed it over here to reflect that. So it's going to be a little bit more confusing, possibly, but yeah, so we're basically doing all of that in one shot. Okay, so we're basically doing this whole entire if statement in one shot. And so, again, if you're confused about it or anything like that, let me know. I think I explained it well enough. Hopefully I did. But again, this is where your guys' feedback is important because I obviously know how to do it. And so I'm hoping that I explained it well enough so that way you know how to do it. That's the whole point of this. So if you have any feedback for me on that, let me know. But anyways, let's go back over into this. And so what do we have? Let's do this. Let's do this. and we're gonna delete that. And then rest2 is, I think that should work, right? That should work. Yeah, so these are all of the same because none of these answers are less than or equal to this. None of the answers are none of these elements in here fall into this, and they do not fall into this right here, right? None of this is true. So if we actually ran this like this, you'd see that it's all just false everywhere. None of those answers are less than or equal to this and greater than this, right? So it's kind of weird seeing this because this number is actually uh, bigger than this number. This is a smaller number and this is a bigger number. So we're basically saying is rest between 1e minus 4 and 1e minus 10, then the answer is basically no everywhere. Okay, so that's what rest2 is. And so the next part of all of this, now that all of that's done, is we're going to actually sum squared dev, and we're going to say I, and that's going to be equal to rest2 times rest2, and that's going to be sum like this. And that is going to give us -1 here, and that's going to do this. And so if we run that, we'll see at the very last part, we get this, the sum of this. So then what we need to actually do after we've done that is we have to get all of that fun stuff, and then we're going to do final equals np.square root of sum and dev divided by length. Okay, and so where does that come from? That comes from this right here. So the sum of this whatever divided by the length. And so basically with our array, we're going to take each and every single element in here and divide it by this, and we're going to get the square root of it, and that's going to give us our final array. So if we did this -1, we would see we have this number right here. We divide that by length. That's going to give us this number, and if we square root that, square root, we will get this number right here, 125.86, whatever, blah, 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 which I think is the same number as this up here, right? So you see 125.8. It's, if we round it up, let's do this. np.round. I think it's like this. I think this is how you use round. Yeah, there you go. So it's the same exact thing. So you guys can see here that it is basically the same exact thing as that. And so we're going to basically go through the whole entire NumPy array exactly like that. And so then what we're going to do is return final. Okay. And so now if we run this, we should closes. What were we doing the length as? 14, 15, 15. We were saying the length is 15. We actually have to re-download the candles because oh yeah, a new hour, so that's why there's some things a little bit different. So now we have this, and now we have this right here showing you 131.33, and we have this as 131.33. And then to plot, let's go ahead and take care of that. Yeah, the plotting side, I'll just show you guys. Okay, so in this situation, I'll just show you guys the code because you guys should be familiar by now with Plotly. If not, then it's fine. But here we have to have pandas installed as PD, and that's going to change our date time column. So this is a timestamp right here. And so we're going to turn our timestamps into pandas date times, right? So that's how we have the date down here, right? So when you hover over, you can see the exact date of when it happened. So then you have to make this figure. So we have to import from Plotly dot subplots import make subplots. Okay, so you have to have that imported. And so, what does that mean that we have to do next? Well, let's get rid of these. Okay, so we make the subplots. You're going to say there's going to be one column. We're going to have 2 rows. We're going to have the shared x-axis is going to be true, right here, right? Then our subplot titles is going to be candles, and then here you just put standard deviation or whatever it is that you want. Then I have the row heights. This is going to get 60%, and the bottom one is going to get 40%. The vertical spacing is just 0.1, which is between here and here. Okay. First thing that we need to do is we need to add a trace to the figure. So we've created our figure. So now we have to add a trace to the figure, and that trace is going to be the candlesticks and the go.candlestick. And you have to have, like I said last time, import plotly.graph objects as go. Okay, so once we do that, we're going to do go.candlesticks. Then you just provide it with the x-axis as date times. And after you have done that, you have your open, high, low, close. Again, this is where you have to send your candles, all of your candles. So here for me, I have my open as 1, high as 2, low as 3, and close as 4. And then the name, I just put it as candles. And so after you get done doing that, you have to do the row equals 1 and the column equals 1, because that's why we are, that's what this is. So this is, just a grid. And so this is column 1, row 1 right here. And next, you have to add another trace. So we're going to do go.scatter. X is going to be date times. Y is going to be the indicator values. And so that is basically our indicator is going to basically just be this, right? So that's going to be our indicator values. And our name is going to be standard deviation. Did I even put a name here? Oh, I have plot standard deviation. And our indicator color, I just put yellow. You can put obviously whatever it is that you want. And then the most important part here is that it's going to be on row 2. Okay, so it's going to be row 2. So column 1, row 2. So now we have added a trace to the second row, which is how you get this in its own little row. Then after that, you do figure.update layout. In this way you can change the height. I get rid of this range slider because it's super annoying. But yeah, I change it to 800. 800 is good enough for me. And then you want to do figure.show. All of that wrapped into some type of function called like plot standard deviation or whatever it is that you want. And then that's how you end up getting the ability to plot the standard deviation exactly like this. Now, the importance of the standard deviation is because you use it for the MACD. Okay, and so as I said at the beginning of the video, I'll explain a little bit about my backtester. So again, I do provide lessons if you need some, if you feel like you need some, or if you have a strategy idea that you want to make, you can again head down below, click on the all my links. It'll take you over to here. Follow me on Twitter. You can DM me there, even though I'm never on Twitter. I just literally the only reason I have Twitter is so that way I can possibly message somebody and do some collaborations and stuff. So just if you want to help me out, do that. But you can message me on Discord or Telegram and let me know, hey, I'm interested in some lessons, or I want to build a strategy with you, or I want to backtest a strategy. And so yeah, let me know about that. But anyways, with the backtester here, so just a brief little overview. You can set your exchange. Then here we get the candles from the exchange, and here this is where you can, like I told you, the timestamp, open, high, low, close. We have our date times here to convert our timestamps to that. Then here we get our exchange settings, like our leverage, maximum leverage, our how many points of decimal is like Bitcoin or something like that. All of these different things. Then here we set the backtest settings as far as like our array size, if we want to filter anything. Then here we create our order settings, which is max equity. If I want to keep trade, if I want to risk as percentage of my equity each and every single trade, risk to reward, stop losses, trailing stop losses, all that fun stuff. And then here are some static things that are not going to be changing constantly. We're not going to be testing this. And then also too, we have this log that every single time you run something, if you want this to be true, you can watch and see every single thing. It tells you exactly what's happening at exactly every single candle, how much you're entering, how much you're exiting, your fees, all of these different things. So that way you can debug whatever is going on. So you have this gigantically long list of things that just basically tells you everything. And yeah, so we have all of this fun stuff here. Here's our little strategy that we have. It's just a very simple strategy that I've made. Again, I can help you guys make your strategy if you want to. So here we're saying the RSI is below 60 and the length is 14. And yeah, we're going long. And so yeah, like I showed you earlier, you just back test it, and this is not going to work because it's acting stupid. So we have to restart this and run all of them from here. And so hopefully it works this time. It should. So we'll run the back test. Boom. All right. So 0.7 seconds. That's great. So here, what this is this tells you the index. This tells you the dynamic order settings index. Then it tells you your total trades, your wins, your losses, your gain percent, your win rate, your QF score, which is super important. It tells you how straight to the upside you basically have gone. And this is very, very important. Okay, and this helps you with like dealing with drawdown and stuff like that. It shows you which one had the least amount of drawdown. So this one has the most amount of drawdown. This one has the least. So it tells you your total fees paid, your total P&L, and it tells you your ending balance because we started at $1,000. And then after you get done with that, you can say, hey, I want to see what the exact order or settings, trades were happening for this one right here, which was 0.2. And so you just put 0.2 in the index here, and then it'll tell you exactly your trades. And like I showed you earlier, if you guys wanted to, you guys could actually watch the trades happen live, so you can see exactly, oh, okay, this is where we this, and this is where we that, and blah, 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 instead of looking at a static image. And then, like I said, after you've done that, this is you can see exactly every single one in the database trades, and oh wait, whoops, you can see every single one of these the trades in the database, and yeah, so that's why I told you guys, UFX. Then you can just run it live, right? I have the live mode of this thing, running it live right here, live mode, live, 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 live mode right here. You can run it live. That's why we have this stuff. Oh, and yeah, like I said, you can come over here, check out the MUFEX trade. This is the order ID to show you that it went through. The Apex order ID to show you that it went through. The Binance order ID to show you it went through. Bybit order ID to show you that it went through. Again, we can check up here. You guys can see we have our trade history. This was just placed right now, exactly. So everything, all that stuff works. Again, head down below. All my links. Join up. I highly suggest using a decentralized exchange. MUFEX is my preferred choice right now, and Apex Pro, DYDX. Bybit is my other exchange that is for centralized exchanges. And yeah, if you want, you can use an Express VPN. I guess for legal reasons, I have to say, don't use it if your country says don't use it. It's illegal, and don't use it if the terms of service of whatever exchange you're using says it's illegal. Obviously, I have to say that, but I mean, hey, use the VPN how you please. Just don't break any laws, I guess I have to say, legally, probably. Anyways, I think that's it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. And join the community. We're trying to build a pretty strong community over there on the Discord and the Telegram. So mainly Discord, though. But whatever, whichever one is your choice. Anyways, I'm done.